Hey, and good afternoon, everybody. Greg Majeski back in here on the Weather Nerds channel with your 2 o'clock intermediate update here on Hurricane Helene. Not a whole lot of changes going on out there right now. Hurricane Hunter aircraft are inbound right now, and we'll get some idea what's going on as it's been interacting with the coastline a little bit over the last few hours, but it's slowly going to be pulling away from the Yucatan, and we'll see things begin to develop there here shortly. Now, if you're coming into this this broadcast here after it's already gone live and you have not subscribed yet to the channel, please do me the favor, subscribe to that channel right now. If you could, do me a favor, hit that notification bell so you'll alert on future content. And as always, give me a thumbs up, leave a comment down below. It always helps with the YouTube algorithm, as we are just a little weather channel. We small, so we need a little help from you guys to help us out. So let's go ahead and get into the particulars on this storm. Currently sitting at 22.0 north and 86.4 west. Just off the coast there from not too far from Cancun. Moving to the north-northwest at 10. Pressure still holding about 980 millibars. And like I said, there's some reasons for that. And we're going to break that down here a little bit. Top sustained winds sitting at 80 miles per hour. So let's go ahead and get into all this. The NOAA satellite site went down. I just noticed that it's gone down, so I'm having to use some different satellite imagery here. We're going to look here at the high res here as we're looking at the intermediate looking at the infrared imagery. And what has happened here over the last hour is kind of interesting to me as I'm kind of looking at this, as we're seeing a new explosion of thunderstorms around that center of circulation, just kind of coming into development right now. So if you look at the color trend here for the last hours, you see it's been kind of decreasing. That whites have kind of decreased, indicating some warming there. So it's been kind of showing indications of perhaps weakening. And again, I think that's because of the interaction with the coast. But it's starting to move away from the coast now, and we're seeing those new thunderstorms developing around that center of circulation. So the trend is going to be going up here. That is for sure as we look over the next several hours. Now, looking at the regional radar, we're seeing some of the rains here just off the coast of Key West. It's been a little bit gray, a little bit dreary there, but not too bad. I've seen some gusts there from time to time. There's the live look, and you can see some rain now is actually falling there in Key West right now. A little breezy, a little gusty, and they'll have some tropical storm force gusts probably blowing through there as well. But definitely a damp and rainy day there in Key West right now. Now, I do want to take a look at the visible imagery here. There's some things I also want to highlight here as well as you're looking at the infrared imagery, or the visible. What's clear is it looks like a little bit of dry air intrusion has tried to wrap around into this. You can see right here that explosion of big thunderstorms here just to the north of Cancun. So we're getting some pretty good blow up of storms there. So this intrusion here, I think it's just temporary as the core of the hurricanes tries to get organized. Again, we don't have an eye yet. We don't have it closed off, but it'll be interesting to see as it continues to move away from the coastline, how it does. And as we move into the evening hours to see how things go on once the daylight heating goes down. Typically, tropical systems do a better job of bringing in the heat at the surface when it's not fighting daytime heating. So once the sun sets, it'll be easier for it to kind of bring it in, and we could see some rapid intensification of the storm, especially for tonight. That's why I will be going wall to wall here for about 3 hours, maybe 4. It kind of depends on what's going on between 5 and 8. And then tomorrow morning, we're definitely going to be going it on from 8 until whenever. We're going to be watching it very closely all day for tomorrow. We do have a lot of updates here. I do want to point out here on the watches and warnings. I did update there on the crawl down below, but boy, they've added a lot of different areas. We got a tropical storm watches now across the entire state of Georgia, the entire state, parts of South Carolina, now Tennessee and North Carolina. That's something you don't see very often. I had somebody here on YouTube was saying, "Oh, you're calling it a monster storm. You're just hyping out." No, I'm going to tell you right now. I've been doing this a very long time. And when you start comparing this storm to another historical storm, no, you're not hyping something up. I was calling this Opal 2 the sequel. And if everybody lived through Opal, because of the speed at which that thing was moving going inland, it knocked out power for thousands for a lot of people. This one's got a double whammy with it because just the angle of attack and how it's coming up, the flooding threat is extremely high. The power outages are going to be extreme. I mean, you're talking about the entire state of Georgia could see, anywhere from 60 to 70% of its power grid go down. That's historic. That's not hyping nothing, okay? That is telling you that like it how it's going to be. It's going to be quite significant to say the least. Now this thing's going to go up the coast. You got the hurricane watches, hurricane warnings up This includes Tampa. They could see some hurricane gusts right along the coast. I'm going to show you some of the model data on that. I got the 12Z data on most about everything in right now to look at. And then ground zero, where this thing will make potential landfall. And I don't know how long we'll have this camera here, but I do know that they're doing evacuations on St. George Island. That's right off the coast there from Apalachicola, not too far from there along the Florida Big Bend. And this area is going to go downhill pretty rapidly. So we'll see how long we have this camera, especially tomorrow afternoon about this time as we get closer and closer to potential landfall. This has not changed much. This is still holding true here with that enhanced area. The right side of the storm, that's going to be the severe side of the storm. That's where the tornado side of the storm is going to be here. So that's what we're going to be looking at there. This has not changed here so much on this. And I don't think it will. We'll continue to see. Well, I'll keep checking back with the Storms Prediction Center, see if they're going to change this much. But the big threat again here for tomorrow is going to be that tornado risk running about 10% across southeast Georgia and parts of extreme southern South Carolina. But the brown there is the 5% from South Carolina all the way back down into Florida. So the tornado risk going to be running pretty moderate, I'd say there. Again, most of the time when you're talking about tropical systems, landfalling storms, the tornadoes tend to be weak, but they're short-lived, but you can get a pretty good number of them, aka Hurricane Ivan back in 2004. I was working that one in Panama City, and we got raked with warnings there for a long, long time, like 10, 11 hours as that thing was moving in. Of course, that one was moving at a slower speed than this one was, that's for sure. All right, so again, looking at, I want to show you that one. I already showed you that. So again, here's the latest coordinates on that. Still thinking of the major hurricane winds, 125-mile-per-hour winds at landfall. It looks like it's going to be riding right along that Alabama-Georgia line. For folks in Columbus that are watching on the Facebook side, again, that any deviation on that, if it brings it over a little bit more, you can see the core winds of that hurricane come over you. Everything's going to be on the right side, anywhere from Columbus to Macon, right side. The northeast Georgia area looks very bad up in my neck of the woods. Could be not only for the heavy rains, but also the flooding, the winds that are going to be with that as well. So this is what you're going to expect. This is my newest graphic. I just created this up for everybody here. Going to be looking at flooding, wind, tornadoes, storm surge, and power outages. Okay, so obviously a lot of Georgia, we're going to see some sort of flooding. But where it's going to be the highest threat, the most significant is North Georgia, especially northeast Georgia, North Carolina, parts of North Carolina, and western South Carolina, in that kind of in that triangle area right in there. It's going to be significant. Wind obviously going to be significant across Georgia and Florida because of the forward motion of the storm. So that's going to relate to power outages, where I think it's going to be significant across a big portion of the state of Georgia and Florida, obviously. Alabama, maybe not so much because you're on the left side. Carolinas up into Kentucky, even Tennessee potentially could see some power outages as well. Storm surge is going to be significant right along the Florida coast. We're talking 10 feet as that kind of comes in there right now. So I'm still waiting on the hurricane hunters. They're kind of inbound right now, so hoping to see if they've got a new update. And let me do a refresh on this, see if that's coming in or not. And yeah, they're still out there just kind of getting their initial feed on this. So we got a little ways to watch and see. I think we'll probably have a new drop sound. That's when they get the buoys in there, data in there. By the 5 o'clock advisory, we will have that up and we'll get an idea of what's going on with the internal mechanisms of the storm as we go into this afternoon and into tonight. So let's talk about the model stuff. Let's look at the intensity stuff. So here is, again, the track hasn't changed. These are all the 12Z latest. The next one will be the 18Z. That'll be coming in the next hour or so, next couple hours, and it hasn't changed much. So it's basically looks like it's, extreme western Georgia, right near the Alabama line. And thank you for the new subscriber. I appreciate that. And we're trying to make a run, by the way, to 5,000 subscribers. So if you haven't subscribed to the channel, I'd love to be one of your weather sources out there. Kind of give it to you straight. I'm not going to sit there and play hype boy on everything, but this is a significant storm. So I do appreciate you supporting the channel here. Let's talk about the strength on this. Again, these are all the 12Z runs here on this. Again, pretty good agreement here that we're going to be looking at something in the Cat 3 range. So this is the top end of the scale up here. So we're looking at winds right now forecast at 125. Could they go higher? I don't think so. And the only reason why I say that is because of the forward speed and the fact that the storm has I've seen it happen before. but I kind of lean to less. I think 125 is probably a good mark right now. We'll see if that holds true as we go into tonight's going to be critical. We'll watch that closely. And thank you for that new subscriber. I appreciate it. You guys are making me feel good when you subscribe to the channel. It makes me feel I'm doing my job, which I'm hoping. I know this is a self-created job because I'm retired Army, and this is what I like to do outside of my normal business. So let's go ahead and take a look at the forecast models here. Let's take a look at the NAM. This is the North American model. This is the 12Z model run here. Okay, so we're going to watch this again as we're seeing something very unique, okay? The Fujiyama effect here is with two low pressures swinging around each other. I've never seen this. I mentioned this on my earlier broadcast here. I mean, you got your hurricane here, you got your upper low back here, and these two are going to basically swarm around each other and they're going to become one. Okay, they're going to merge together. And this right here is showing the significant part of this coming right through the heart of Georgia. Western Florida, Florida Panhandle, Western Florida, again, southeast Georgia, that's where the tornado threat's going to be, through South Carolina. But Metro Atlanta, of 6 million people, this is going to be significant. Look at this at 12Z. This is tomorrow morning, 979 millibars. That's still Category 1 hurricane, at least, blowing up in there by tomorrow morning. Atlanta, or I'm not tomorrow morning, I'm sorry, Friday morning, getting a day ahead of myself, by Friday morning. So you're talking about the schools are canceling all over the place. There is a state of emergency in the state of Georgia as well as Florida, but this is quite significant. And because of the influence of this upper low, some of these rains over here in Alabama are going to be enhanced a little bit because the stationary front's going to kind of stall out in there where they're currently getting rains right now. So again, this will begin to swing up. Again, it'll swing inland, and you'll see things kind of settle down. So we'll have the weekend, definitely Saturday's looking fine and Sunday's looking fine to kind of clean up. But the rains were going to linger across Tennessee and Kentucky through the weekend. All right, that's the NAM model. We'll look at the European model here. Let me see if the 12Z's coming in here. Should be getting in some of it in now. We got the 12Z's finally coming in here now. I was looking at this earlier. So this is the European model. It has shifted to the right significantly on this. Okay, this is showing 953. It's strong too, but the European model run that's just coming in has shifted a little bit further to the right than what the other tracks were showing. So this is more towards central Georgia. So this is a little bit different from the NAM one. The NAM one's a little bit further to the east. So there is some wobble in there. So you see that kind of coming up in there. Again, you're seeing 974 millibars near Metro Atlanta. That is terrible. Absolutely terrible. Augusta, Athens, all that area here, getting up toward Greenville, South Carolina. It is going to be quite brutal here, folks. We're talking about some very serious winds, very heavy flooding, especially with the mountains right in there, the uplifting, the orographic lift, quite significant. And again, this moves inland, same as the NAM model, and then begins to slowly spin on out and out of the way. So, yeah, quite significant to say the least. This is the European model, the NAM model as far as the rainfall amounts. Look at Georgia here. We're looking at areas here showing upwards of 13, 14 inches of rain there across up near Toccoa in extreme northeast Georgia, coming back to near my area near 12 inches of rain near here, quite significant. Luckily, I'm not in a flood-prone area. I got to worry about that, thankfully. But again, it is quite significant. Let's compare this one. Let's go ahead and switch this over to the European model for a rainfall comparison there. And they're about the same. Really not much of a difference there. Maybe the European slightly less, but not by much. So looks like they're in pretty good agreement as far as the rainfall total is concerned. So quite significant there. One thing I'm going to be doing here while I'm doing the broadcast is I'm going to be watching, especially when we're doing our live to live, I'll be watching the Twitter feeds and things like that to see what's going on. And you know, that is one of the things I definitely want to keep a watchful eye on here. As yeah, this one caught my eye. I wanted to share that one. It's funny, but it's true. Hurricane, run to Publix, run to the grocery stores. That's going to be happening here for sure. So I just wanted to share that. I saw that a little while ago. But again, recapping, if you're just now joining us here as I'm giving you the 2 o'clock update here on this system, it is going to be an interesting next 12 hours. It's really going to be dictating on what the strength of the system is going to be as we continue to see the blow up of thunderstorms around that center of circulation. Let me go back to the IR radar here. I guess this one updates very rapidly. So again, seeing the big explosion there, continuing there around that center of circulation. So I want to go ahead and answer some of these questions that are coming in. Here's Jill Porter on Facebook here. He doesn't know anything. He thinks 60 mile per hour gusts are nothing. Turn out the refrigerator. Yeah, I don't think 60 mile per hour winds are nothing. I never said that. I never said that at all. That 60 mile per hour winds is severe thunderstorm criteria. Why would I say that? I wouldn't say that. Someone here in Dothan was probably, and it was a madhouse. I don't doubt that. There's going to be, even up here in North Georgia, they're running to the grocery stores, to say the least. Hi, Greg, the town of hey, Danny Ferrone, my old buddy there from high school. Yeah, Pine Mountain, just getting hunkered down, man. Just get ready for this. Again, now keep in mind for those in Columbus, if the European model holds true and it's a little bit further off toward the east on the European, the impacts for you guys won't be as bad, and the winds probably won't be as bad as well. But I could take a look at that just to double check. I didn't look at the winds on the European. So let me get this in studio mode real quick. Let me switch back over to that model and I'll double check that. Hold on one second. Let's take a look at that. Let me look over here. And in fact, I got the new model data for the winds coming in here. Let's take a look at this. So this is also a little bit further to the east. It's amazing how every run has gone back and forth on this. A little bit aggravating, but it's been this morning. It goes one way, the other way goes the other. It's not unusual to see that. But let me show you a couple of these wind models here from the hurricane model. So let me switch down here and I'll show you this real cool. I'll switch over to this. So this is one of the 12Z hurricane model. These are wind gusts. And this is definitely following the European trend back over to the east. So if you're in the Columbus area, you're looking at 40, maybe 50 mile per hour winds. Not as bad, but look at the core here, showing 90, 93 mile per hour winds here across central Georgia, as this is going to wrap in around up into northeast Georgia here as you head toward the morning hours on Friday. So you're looking at hurricane force gusts there across northeast Georgia. My area showing 72 mile per hour winds for 5 o'clock in the morning on Friday. And then these gusty winds blow up right up into Tennessee, Kentucky, into portions of Virginia, South Carolina, North Carolina. So it is very gusty winds. That's going to be enhanced a little bit by that upper level feature, that upper level low playing that. Let's switch this over to the European model. I want to look at the European comparison for winds here. Let me switch this over. And go over to the European winds here. There we go. And I got to go into the southeast. So stand by real quick. Let's switch over to go back to the southeast. I'll go away. Go back. I'll get that automatic pop up there. And let's go to the winds, surface winds. And we're going wind gusts. Here we go. All right. So we're looking at the European model. This is the 12Z run that just came in. So we're going to watch this one as well. And again, this is off to the east. This is much further to the east than what's been shown. So Columbus, if this holds true on the European model, you're not going to get as much. But again, this is going to change, folks. It's going to oscillate back and forth because it depends on the natural wobbles of the eye and everything. And we're talking tens of miles here. It can make such a significant difference here. But you see these winds going up across eastern part of Georgia. 70 mile per hour wind gusts near into Augusta. And 50 mile per hour winds there. It looks like the center almost goes directly over Atlanta, at least the eastern portions of metro Atlanta, as this goes up into the north. So, like I said, we got a ways to watch this, folks. We got a ways to watch. So here is the plan of action, just so you guys are watching. So again, I want to thank everybody for watching the channel. If you have not yet subscribed, please consider it. Come on board here. Be part of the Weather Nerd family. Hit that subscribe button. And if you want to share this with your buddy and friends, please do. That'd be an honor to have you on board here. But I'm going to come back on here again at 5 o'clock. At 5 o'clock, I'm planning to be on for about 3 hours, okay? And if conditions warrant, maybe go beyond 3 hours. We're just going to kind of see it. I picked that specific zone because I thought that the center of circulation would be far enough away from the coast that we could see some rapid intensification, and I wanted to be on air during that time. Then I'll shut down, and then I'm going to watch again for the wall-to-wall coverage for tomorrow. And obviously, anybody who's got any questions and stuff, I can pull up everybody's stuff in here. And here, like Dia's talking about, she's concerned about our pecan trees. Francie took down some of the big branches and made some trees stop. Yeah, this could be significant. The pecan trees in Southwest Georgia are going to get hit pretty hard. I don't think there's any way around that, regardless of where it kind of comes in there. But Southwest Georgia, I know down there toward Albany, Thomasville, Valdosta, where all the pecan trees are, they're going to be significant, to say the least, there for the pecans down there. All right, so we're going to come back at 5 o'clock. We're going to start our extended block of wall-to-wall coverage at that time, and then we'll get ready for the big day for tomorrow. Again, we got about 36 hours to watch and see if we're going to get a hurricane that's going to go from 80 miles per hour to 125 miles per hour, or if it's going to be something else. What you got there, Captain Starwalker? What you got there, brother? We wanted hoodie weather, not evacuate your hood weather. You said it, brother. You said it. Hey, welcome to the channel. I appreciate you coming on board here. Absolutely. And this is what's going to be fun. I think this is one of the fun things I get to do with this channel and this outlet, because I'm not a behemoth. I can really do some one-on-one engagement with everybody that wants to come in here and answer questions and look at stuff. And that's definitely a big plus. You know, we're not going to do Godfather numbers. And, you know, for those who've watched the past, you know, when I say the Godfather, we're talking about the big YouTuber out there who's the 2 million guy. But here on our small channel, I try to give you guys personalized service as best you can. Thus the motto, your personal weatherman. All right, that's it for now. You guys take it easy. We'll see you back in here at 5 o'clock in about 2.5 hours, and we'll get ready to go for an extended block at that time. And I'm ready. I've got some non-perishable foods I bought. I've got my light kits. I'm ready to go there. The only bad thing is if I lose power going into Friday, I won't be doing any broadcasts on Friday, but we'll see what I can do. And thank you to that new subscriber. I always appreciate everybody coming on board here. Grow the channel just a little at a time. We'll try to get to 5,000. I don't know if we'll get there tomorrow, but we're gonna give it a shot. We're gonna get a run for it. All right, we'll see you guys in here at 5 o'clock. See ya. Peace.